All right, so just an FYI, this is a health update vlog. This is not gaming stuff. If you're here for gaming stuff, go check out the myriad of other videos that I have on the channel that I've uploaded this week. Lots of good stuff. If you've watched them all, you're probably lying, but if you say that you've watched them all, you could go watch them again. And always keep in mind, I'm not a Nintendo YouTuber, but this is a health update video piggybacking off of something that I talked about on Sunday where I was pretty nervous. Today is Thursday, the 20th, 420 Blaze It, and I had a procedure, an ultrasound done that was pretty much going to tell me what was going on with my heart. Now, to sort of catch you up to speed in case you haven't been following along or you're newer to the channel, back in January, unfortunately, I had an ear infection. I guess fortunately, I had an ear infection. And I went in for an ear infection. My blood pressure was 220 over 140. And they were like, you need to go to the ER right now or you're potentially going to die. I hadn't been to a doctor in years, so it wasn't a big surprise to me that there was something wrong. I just didn't realize just how wrong it was. And one thing that they told me at the ER that I never really harked on all that much was the heart failure side of things. Obviously, the blood pressure was stupid high, but there was a lot of damage done to my heart, and they looked at it from a different perspective. Like maybe there was an artery clog. I have a thing here where they did like an injection through there, and then it goes through a dye that goes through all your arteries to see if you had any sort of clog in your arteries, which could be causing something like that. And then they could go in and just sort of, do things to alleviate that. But they never found anything with that. It was pretty much I had hypertension, meaning I had high blood pressure, and I had pretty severe heart damage. My heart was working at about 20%, and it wasn't something I like to talk about, and it wasn't something for really two reasons. One, I didn't want to scare people, because if you look up what that means, you're kind of on a loose timetable, unless you get it fixed for living. And two, I didn't want to scare myself with that, because knowing that your heart is only working at 20% and that's, heart failure, and, it could end at any time, it was a scary thing. There's three. I go, as long as my brain is working good, my heart's working good, and my penis is working good, I'm fine. But obviously one of those things was out of commission. So they put me on medicines, this, that, and the other. I've been taking the medicines. I've been actively trying to live healthier. I quit smoking cigarettes. I smoked cigarettes for 20 years. I quit eating a ton of fast food all the time. I would work out a lot, and I would feel that would counteract the fast food, but the high sodium intake of it really did a number on my blood pressure. We tried a bunch of different sort of schemes with the medicine to see what works, what wasn't working. Some of the medicines were giving me, issues when I would stand up. I'd be super dizzy, almost to the point of falling over, this, that, or the other. A couple of weeks ago, I guess this was like a month and a half ago now, my aunt took my blood pressure over at my grandma's house, and it was really high. And that was the day I actually told my doctor about it. And then after that day, we ended up changing one of the medications. We upped it a little bit. And then ever since then, my blood pressure's been really good. Like the highest it's been is like 125 over 80 something. Like usually it's like 115, 120 over 70, to a low 80, which is very good. And I felt like, I was finally on the right track with both the medicine and kind of the healthy living, cutting out the fast food, eating, food that's low in sodium, and just focusing in on that to make sure that I'm giving myself a chance. Because I felt like if I tried really hard and I stuck with this, didn't go back to smoking or anything like this, this would at least, let's say worst comes to worst, and I need to have a stent placed in my heart, or I need to get like heart surgery, or, bypass surgery or something like that in order to, stay alive. At least I gave it my all. At least I gave it an honest shot. And, I put my all into it to try and make it better, the best that I could. And if it was out of my hands, it was too far gone at that point in time, well, not going to regret it, but I'll accept it. And so today I went for my heart ultrasound over at the cardiologist, and they also did an EKG. I wasn't really familiar with what the heart ultrasound was, like how it worked. Basically, I just took my shirt off, I laid on a table, and they did, like, you could actually see it on the little monitor, and like the dude had like a trackball, so you could like look around. He was pressing all these buttons and stuff. So I'm kind of watching it, but then I'm kind of like, no, because I don't really know what I'm looking for. Everything just looks disgusting in my eyes, and you know, I didn't know what exactly to be looking for to see what was going to be healthy. Then after that, it took about 15 minutes. I threw my shirt back on, and then I went to a different section where they did an EKG on me just to see how everything was going. They also took my blood pressure. It was a little bit high, but it's always high for me at the doctor's office. It wasn't anything too crazy. And then the doctor came in, and he asked me a very important question, and I gave him a very important answer. He said, "How are you doing?" And I said, "Well, you tell me." And so he looked over the ultrasound charts. He looked over the EKG, and my heart's back to normal. I did it. I did it. So he said that it probably was a combination of, you know, me just having high blood pressure for a very long time that went untreated. And then probably the ear infection that I had was a bit of a viral infection. And so that really messed with my heart more so, mostly the blood pressure, but he did feel like the ear kind of did mess with it a little bit. And then the high heart rate that I always had. And so, yeah, he said it's healed itself. It's back to a normal functioning heart. And sorry. And yeah, so the game plan going forward is I got to get some blood work done within the next week or two just to make sure the kidneys are good, which I'm sure they are. I'm peeing pretty much crystal clear water because I'm staying hydrated. And then I'll go see him in 3 months, just kind of as a checkup. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? This, that, and the other. And then as long as everything's good between now and that checkup, I won't have to go see him for 6 months at a time. And really, that's just for medication refills and stuff like that. So I did it. You know, I feel like I did it. You know, it's a very big accomplishment for me because, yeah, you know, if I would have failed at it, at least I gave it, you know, as hard as I could. I gave it an honest effort, you know, eating salads and, you know, skipping out on foods that I love because I just wanted to cut them all out just to give myself the best chance I could at this ultrasound because I knew this ultrasound was coming up. I had about 2 months, I think, 2 months of prep time, 2.5 months of prep time before I knew this was going to happen. So I wanted to give it my all, and it worked out. So the old ticker is running back at full capacity. We're not smoking cigarettes. We're still eating good. I stopped at my local pizza joint, though, had 2 slices of hot oil pizza to celebrate because it's a celebration. Death, you've tried a couple times at me. You ain't got me yet, you son of a bitch. You ain't got me yet. You got some more work to put in, son. So, yeah, everything's good. Everything is good. And I make these videos kind of as therapy for me, but kind of just to tell people, you know, be safe out there, man. Like, take your health. You don't have to take your health, like, super serious, you know, where it's like you're just a health freak, but take your health somewhat serious, you know? If you ain't been to a doctor in a while, just go to a walk-in clinic. You know, I was a big proponent of walk-in clinics. I think they're awesome. You know, just be like, hey, can you check me out? Make sure I'm good. And if they see anything, then you can kind of decide, you know, lifestyle changes you want to make or, you know, full on changes you want to make while working with a doctor. But yeah, I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. I'm definitely very happy. Shout outs to myself. Shout outs to God. You know, he probably had a hand in it. But yeah, I just want to keep you guys updated. RGT ain't dying yet, bitches. RGT ain't dying yet.